Good morning and welcome to StudyIQ, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 16th May 2020. Day is Saturday. I would like to start today's discussion with this quote by Bob Marley. Open your eyes, look within. Are you satisfied with the life you are living? He is asking us a very profound question, and I think we should take out a few minutes to analyze this question, to ask ourselves that are we really satisfied with the life we are living. With this, dear friends, StudyIQ has launched a smart course. This smart course is designed by some of the best faculties of our country. This smart course is for Civil Services Examination. The good news is that at present EMI option is also available, and this is going to last till 20th May 2020. So make the most out of this EMI option. To find out more about it, all you have to do is download our mobile app on your phone. To download the PDF of today's discussion, today's lecture, check out my Telegram channel. Please make sure that you share this lecture with other students. Hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Dear friends, today is Saturday. We have three important articles on our table. First one is TASMAC Tribulations. We'll talk about it. This one is about Tamil Nadu state, and TASMAC is a state-run organization. I'll take you through it. Second one is about quarantine, and the third one is a very interesting article about behavioral change. Now, before we move on, I have a question for you. Name few items, products or services that are a part of this state government taxes. So even after the introduction of GST, there are few items that are not covered by GST, or they are out of purview of GST. So give me the name of those items. Stick your answer in the comment section. And the reason why I have asked you this question is one thing that we are going to talk about, and that is alcohol. So alcohol is out of GST purview. And you can expect one MCQ in your prelims examination asking you to identify those items from the below given list that are not part of GST. So you should know things about, or you should be familiar with these items that are out of the purview of GST. Now, this TASMAC stands for Tamil Nadu State Marketing Corporation. Now, if you go through some online pictures of TASMAC, if you Google TASMAC, then you will find a few pictures of offline shops, or this liquor shops, or this wine shops, right, where you find this alcohol, where you can purchase alcohol, right? So in Tamil Nadu, you have many TASMAC shops where people can buy, they can do their alcohol shopping or liquor shopping, and these stores are they are government-run stores. So people prefer to buy things from here because they are a bit cheaper than the private competitors. Now, this topic is on our table today because the main thing is Tamil Nadu decided that this state government decided that they are going to allow the sales of alcohol in Tamil Nadu. And it was going very well, but after that people started coming out in big numbers. We saw big queues, and in many places people were not maintaining this physical distancing. So Madras High Court took a stand. Madras High Court it ordered this state government to that if you want to sell these things, you can sell it, right, but only online. Physical sales was stayed by this Madras High Court. So Tamil Nadu state government, they knocked the doors of Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has stayed the High Court order. So basically Tamil Nadu now can again resume the sales of alcohol via TASMAC, or this physical over-the-counter sales is allowed by Supreme Court. Now, a few days ago, I think it was day before yesterday, we were talking about this main reason why few states have allowed the sales of alcohol. And at present, you know that our country, various different states, they are fighting against this coronavirus. This war is going on against coronavirus. And to win this war, you need resources. And one of the most important resource is money, right? Your financial health. If you want to protect public health, then you need to have, when I say you, I mean, I'm talking about states, right? State governments. they should be financially healthy, but they are not. If you are familiar with the economical situation of our country before lockdown, then you'd be aware that things were not that great. Things were not that bad, but we cannot say that we were satisfied with the growth rate. The growth rate was hovering somewhere around 5%. Remember, quarter growths were coming out, and it was sometimes 5, sometimes 4.9 or something. So things were not that great. Global economic slowdown was also visible because of this trade war between USA and China. And GST collection was not that great. Direct tax collection was not that great. So, in short, in a nutshell, central government as well as state governments, they were struggling with revenue, right? Incoming money was going down, expenses were static. So this was creating a bit of problem for state governments as well as central government. Then there was this issue of GST money distribution. Of course, what happens is that states will collect GST, and then this money will be handed over to central government, right? Central government will distribute this money with various different states, and it will keep a chunk with itself, and it will give the rest of the money to other states. And this time 1%, this 15th Finance Commissioner has decided that you have to keep 1% for the new union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. So basically the background is delivered here, and the main thing is that states were struggling, and because of this lockdown, transactions were not going on. Now, as I told you, as I have asked you one question, that there are many things that are out of purview of GST. So the only source of revenue for the state government, the only achievable one, is alcohol. If you allow the sales of alcohol, then people will buy alcohol, and then you can get whatever money that you have, you can use it for fighting this war against coronavirus. So this is one of the main reason why states are allowing the sales of alcohol. Now, the thing is, the recommendation of or the order of Madras High Court is something that is also very important, that once you will allow again, once this over-the-counter sales will resume, what we will find is we will find this long queues, and in many places people will not behave properly. They will break this physical distancing norms and things. And when this state was asked, when Tamil Nadu was asked that you should go ahead with online sales, then Tamil Nadu said that that is not possible and things. Though it's basically a big excuse given by Tamil Nadu state government. Now, as per this article, the reason why Tamil Nadu is not ready to sell things online or this liquor online is because this TASMEC staff, they charge a bit of extra money, 5 to 10 rupees extra for each sale, right? If you buy, let's say, 10,000 rupees worth of alcohol, then they will charge you 5, 10, 15, 20 rupees extra. And people will happily pay for this thing because, as I told you early on as well, that these stores are reasonable compared to, or you find things a bit cheaper here compared to your private competitors. So you pay extra 5-10 rupees, but this extra 5-10 rupees at the end of the year or after a few months, it will turn into, it will, if you see around the Tamil Nadu, then easily we are talking about crores and crores of rupees. And you have to share this, it's a big cake where everyone will get a slice of it. So I'm not pointing fingers to any particular person, but you have some powerful people, they get this money as well. Then you have a big chain. So everyone enjoys this cake, right, of crores and crores of rupees. This money is distributed. So this is one of the main reason why they don't want to sell this thing online, right? Moving on to next one, very easy to understand article, but very important. A question of quarantine. Now, tens of thousands of people are moving across states, in various different states, in various different districts. In states, we know that there are various different districts. They are under this category of green zone. There are few of them are in category of orange zone. So green zone, right, they are very safe, and there are people who are like, let's say, people from Gujarat or people from Uttar Pradesh who are living in Gujarat as migrant workers. They want to go back to their state, right? They want to go back to Rajasthan, they want to go back to Maharashtra or maybe any other state. So this is going to take place. It's going to be, the numbers are going to proliferate in near future, and it is also a big challenge for state governments as well as for central government. A time will come when we have to get rid of this lockdown. We have to limit this lockdown to few pockets of our country, to few red zones. And I think within a district as well, at present we have a few districts, they are under this red zones. But then what will happen in future is only few particular pockets of that districts will be kept under tight curfew control. Others will be allowed to live a normal life. They can go out, and of course it's quite logical that you have to maintain few things, right? You have to carry a sanitizer, you have to keep a physical distance, you cannot spit here and there. There are few things that we have to do once the lockdown is over. So basically what I'm trying to say is that we will see a spike in numbers, right, of this coronavirus cases. It is going to go up a little bit. At present things are flattening. This graph is flattening. Our aim is to bring it down, but I think after the lockdown, right, it will go up a little bit, and then it will again, will be in this same, going up and down for in near future and forthcoming future. This is the thing that we will see. Now the problem is we don't have any one standard, or we don't have any standardization of quarantine. Various different states, they have their own different rules, and this is creating lots of confusion. A system of quarantine in the state is not uniform. Laborers compulsorily quarantined in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, they escaped from the facilities after complaining about bad conditions. In Kerala, what Kerala is suggesting that for 7 days, if someone is coming out, someone is coming from other state, right, then for 7 days they have to stay in state's proposed facility, and the rest of 7 days, if they are okay, then they will be allowed to go home, and they have to quarantine themselves in their home. Now central government is saying that no, you have to go for a 14 days proper institutional quarantine. So various different states, they have their own various different viewpoints, and this is creating, in some places they are helping each other, in some places they are against each other. Central government as well as various states, they are against each other in quarantine norms, and this will create more confusions. You see, Central Health Minister, Union Health Minister, his advice on 10th May was that if people are feeling mild symptoms, if they are suffering from, or if they are having pre-symptomatic cases, then they should quarantine themselves at their own home, right? This was approved by Health Ministry. But now we find central government is saying something, some states are saying something, and this is creating confusions, and this means this is a weakness. Basically, this is a loophole in our system, and it may look small, but it can create big problems in our fight against coronavirus. So state governments as well as central government together, they have to sort this thing out as quickly as possible. The last article is quite interesting, and then we will jump on to important news items. We have a few very important news items to discuss today, just like the articles that we discuss. So let's quickly go through this one. This one is very interesting. It's about habits. It's about behavioral change. The COVID-19 crisis is far from over, but governments everywhere appear to have either relaxed lockdown parameters or will do so soon. That's what we were talking about, isn't it? That a day will come that we have to, get rid of this lockdown. Means there is no other way. Of course, it will change. It has, in fact, changed our lives. And after lockdown as well, we are going to see many new things. And these new things are going to be our new normal way of life. We used to hug, we used to handshake, right? We used to sit next to each other in groups. This is something that will not happen in near future until and unless, I think, when we find a vaccine, people will avoid handshake, hugs, eating out. There are so many things that will change. Inviting guests to visit your home, or you visiting to someone else's place. These are the things that we are going to see a big change in this sort of things. Now, behavior or new behavior, many times what happens is that a thing that is important, your behavior that is important, may be different to your social as well as cultural conventions. I'll give you one example of hospitals. Now, what happens in our country, as you know, that if someone is not well, if you know Mr. X or someone is not well, then people, relatives, the people who care about Mr. X, his or her colleagues, right, they will go to see him, visit him at hospital. People will, stay there and things like that. But at present, this is not allowed and people are not going. So this was a social as well as cultural thing in our society. But now people are not going to hospital to see. I'm not talking about coronavirus patients. I'm talking about the other sort of things, right? Other medical conditions as well. People are staying away because of this fear of this coronavirus. So this is directly, indirectly changing our social as well as cultural convention. Then I gave you some examples of like inviting. What happens in our culture is that if someone, all of a sudden, if someone knocks your door and if they are your relatives or guests, right? I think many of you will agree with this thing that even today we have this thing. This has always been part of our Indian culture that. Nowadays, because of these mobile phones and things, people will give you a call and tell you or inform you or ask you that we are coming. A few years ago, it was quite common to find, all of a sudden, out of blue, you will find your relatives at your doorstep. And this is Atithi Devo Bhava, that anytime, right, 24/7, you have few people, few relatives, they can knock your doors anytime, right, 24/7, anytime, 365 days, right, they are always allowed to enter. So this was part of our culture, but I think this will change now. People will refrain as well as people will resist if someone tries to enter your residence. It means at present lockdown is there, but after lockdown as well, for a bit of time, I think people will keep a distance with each other. So these are a few examples of behavior and new changes, and many of them are against or they are totally opposite to our normal way of life. Now we have one person, Irwin M. Rosenstock. He developed this health belief model. He suggests that a person's health-related behaviors ultimately stem from the desire to avoid illness. The two most important constructs of this HBM is first is perceived benefits, the effectiveness of actions available to reduce the threat of the disease, the things that you will do that will keep you away from that disease. For example, if we talk about coronavirus, then staying indoors, right? Though it may have a sense of fear, but at the behind that fear as well, we have this perceived benefit that if we stay indoor, if we stay away from each other, then this will help us to stay or to duck this disease. Then we have perceived barriers, the obstacles to performing a recommended health action. The more easier the things are, the more likely we are going to do those things. I'll give you one example. And we have this thing here as well. We'll talk about that example as we move on. Just give me a few minutes. Let me take you through these points, then I'll give you a very interesting example. The model also recognizes the importance of cues to action or triggers which set into motion the process of adopting the desired behavior. You might have observed people who are trying to quit smoking. Now, smokers, they know it very well that smoking is injurious to their health, isn't it? It's a very common knowledge that smoking is injurious to your health. And I'm sure all of us have witnessed or we have experience of this thing that there are many people who are trying to quit smoking, but they are not able to do it. And many people say that their willpower is very weak. But I think that is not the right thing. The environment plays a very important role. If a smoker is part of smokers group, if his or her friends are smoking cigarette and every evening when they hang out, and if other people are smoking, this person is trying to quit smoking, then this is going to be nearly impossible. I'm not saying impossible, but nearly impossible. It will be with inertia. It will be with friction. You're not flowing with the current. You are going against the current. But if you change your group, let's say this person will join a new group where people are early riser. They go out for a 30-minute jog every day. They do a little bit of exercise. Then they are following healthy diet and healthy things. In few days time, you will see that you will quit smoking. You will quit your bad habit. You'll be doing jogging and running and other things, because you have changed your environment. Your environment comes out with triggers. The triggers that you get, the cues to action that you get, plays a very important role. And these cues typically are emotional, not just informative or educational. Emotional cues play a very important, when you have this urge of smoking or urge of doing something, right? That is also associated with emotions. And in this article, the writer is talking about this blend of fear, patriotism, as well as gratitude, extol. All things are part of emotion. So he's saying that the Prime Minister's suggestion of ringing bells at 5 p.m. a few weeks ago, remember a month or 2 months ago, there was this Janta curfew, and people at 5 p.m. they were banging their dishes, or they were ringing bells. It was about paying this gratitude to these frontline workers, and it was also directly, indirectly, if you see, then it was like Janta curfew. People stayed indoors because of this fear of coronavirus, as well as it was like a patriotic thing as well, that we are here to support our country. So this is also something, a sort of emotional call. And Singapore did something similar. The Singapore government asked people to sing it together, Singapore. This was their campaign. Now, HBM, to be effective, the social marketing message would present the benefits as applying direct to the individual, not just indirectly to the society at large. So HBM is more effective when individuals, when you create your campaign in such a way that every single individual will feel that he or she has something to get from it. I'll give you an example of Bangladesh, right? This is a very interesting example. Like, back in 1970s, Bangladesh was trying to control this population growth. So basically, the main focus was family planning. Now, ladies lot, they were okay with it, right? Because they are the ones who suffer the most, right? So they were more likely ready to go ahead with contraceptive measures. But men are the main, you can say, decision makers in Bangladesh family life. And I'm not talking about present scenario. I'm not sure about the present thing, but as per this 1970s campaign, at that point of time, men were the main decision makers at home. So to take them on board was a bit challenging. But then this what they did, Bangladesh government, they came out with this campaign, and this female medical practitioners in rural area, they were sent to this women, and they were educated about this birth and everything, and they were given this female contraceptives as well. But again, you need male permission, you need men's permission for doing this thing. So the marketers, they also designed a communications program directed at men, highlighting the benefits such as better health for their wives. And if they are healthy, if their wives are healthy, then they can look after their husbands very well, they can look after their children very well, less stress in the family, less financial expenses, all these benefits, medical expenses will come down. And so by doing this thing, by targeting men lot, then this individual men, they started realizing this thing, that okay, if our wives are healthy, then they will be able to look after our family very well, and this will create less burden on us. And so it's all good in it. And this thing triggered that change in behavior in Bangladesh. So in the same way, in our country, we know that there are few people, right? But this few people can again restart this whole process of spread of coronavirus. So if you ask them to, let's see, the thing is, you and I, we will easily, even if we have to stand up 5 times a day or more than that, we will go and wash our hands. But there are few people, they will wash their hands once or twice, and after that they will say that nothing will happen to them and it's okay. So if you want to make sure, if you want to change their behavior, they will not wash their hands that oftenly, but what you can do is you can put a small bottle of sanitizer on top of their table, right, some next to their computer or next to their mouse. And if that small bottle is there, then chances are that they will use it quite often. And this is a small step. Just keeping a small bottle is a small thing, but the results will be amazing. If you have, let's say, if you meet someone outside, and if you have, the thing is, at present we are finding these big bottles, and this is $1 million idea, I think. At present we find big bottles, but if you have small pocket bottles, you might have seen this small body sprays, right, that can easily fit in your pocket. In the same way, if you have small, if you can refill your small pocket sanitizers, then people will use it more. It will become something that you will find in everyone's pocket. So if it make it a bit more easier, then it can change our behavior. And there is also one thing, you can name and shame people. If someone is spitting on the road and doing those sort of things, then you can name and shame them as well. Now, there are few groups, they will talk about privacy, but the thing is, if someone is spitting here and there, and if he or she is not taking care of people's lives, right, if they are spreading germs and things like that, then there is no harm in, I think, naming and shaming them. Then we have a very important news item, booster dose. This one is the third tranche of measures announced under this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. And the main focus this time is agriculture and allied activities. Funds worth 1 lakh crore rupees to be given to agricultural cooperative societies, farmer producer organizations and startups for boosting farm gate infrastructure. 10,000 crore for formalization of micro food enterprises. A cluster-based farming approach to be followed. 20,000 crore rupees for fishermen under Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, expected to pave way for additional fish production for 70 lakh tons over 5 years. 13,000 crore rupees drive to achieve 100% vaccination of cattle, buffaloes, sheep, goats and pigs. 15,000 crore boost for animal husbandry, 4,000 crore for promotion of herbal cultivation, 10 lakh hectares will be covered under herbal cultivation, 500 crore for beekeeping initiatives, and Essential Commodities Act 1955 to be amended to deregulate cereals, edible oils, oil seeds, pulses, onion, potatoes, etc. This is a big change. Earlier on, what used to happen is that even if you, let's say, onions, in domestic market, let's say the farmer is getting just 10 rupees per kilo, but there are times where international markets will pay you more than 10 rupees. They are ready to pay you 50 rupees, let's say. Or there are a few countries where you can sell it for 50 rupees. But farmers were not allowed to do these things under this Essential Commodities Act, but now they will be allowed. So this is a big thing. And then government is also trying to, various different state governments, they have changed their APMC rules and other things. So this is a big move, a big reform. Government is not just injecting money, but it is also injecting reforms, and that's a good thing, good combo. Lockdown likely to be extended till 30th May. Now let's wait and watch for today's final announcement by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India surpasses cases, China's COVID-19 tally. We have crossed 85,761 cases. Monsoon will arrive on 5th June, has been said by IMD. Now, Skymet is a private company. It is saying that monsoon will arrive in Kerala by 28th May. So there is a gap of nearly 1 week between these two agencies. So let's wait and watch. And then Jharkhand CM takes on Goyal. Goyal said that Railway Minister said that states were not allowing or giving NOC, but Jharkhand CM has said that that is not right. We are talking about rain, right? So cyclone alert is in Odisha. 12 districts are on high alert because of this cyclone. And our espionage means this NIA has arrested spies, right? Naval spies. And the name of the person is Ladakh Wala. He's 49 and he was trying to share some important information about our Navy with Pakistan. So he's caught under NIA. He's NIA's custody. US envoy calls out COVID-19 related rhetoric in India. go through this article, right, news item. Then you have this: Rajasthan moves to deal with a huge migrant influx because of people coming from various different parts of our country. 20 deaths in Gujarat, 340 new cases, and Mizoram man clears loans of 4 strangers. So that's Samaritan work. And that's everything in today's discussion. Thank you very much, dear friends. I'll see you with daily financial news analysis. And as far as Hindu analysis is concerned, I will see you directly on Monday. Till then, enjoy your studies. God bless you all. Jai Hind.